What's up, y'all? Shoe Booty Sports back at you Tuesday night, normal time, pretty much. All the same to you. Either way, I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen, co host Bradley Brown on the other screen. Say what's up, Brad.
What's up? What's happening?
Well, before we hit record, we were talking about the new Deadpool movie, and I was going to say, and we won't ruin it, although spoilers have already been out there all over the place, but how did Gambit not make an appearance in any of the X-Men movies? There's only been about a billion of them at this
I have no idea. I, I think that's been an argument people have been making for like 10 years now. So nobody knows.
point.
So
At least, probably at least 20, because I think the original X-Men came out in like 2000, right?
yeah, it's probably somewhere around there. But I mean, heck, I remember liking him in the early 90s on the cartoon. So I have no idea why he wasn't in there.
But well, yeah, I mean, but that's why we said that because I mean he was awesome. He was probably my favorite one on the cartoons. Him and Wolverine were like 1A, 1B. Of course, well, you can't have X-Men without Wolverine. But all right, we are a sports show, so we'll get to that. But apparently, okay. What would you rate Deadpool? Deadpool and Wolverine, scale of 1 to 10, before we get to it.
I give it like a nine,
Wow.
eight and a
Okay.
half, nine. I mean, it was pretty good.
Well, it's a 10 in the box office right now. I believe it just surpassed $1 billion. All right, so we'll quit plugging Deadpool for free like it needs any more advertisement, and we'll get to the show. First, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series and home of the Rhino Ultra. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us some likes while you're there, and follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay, so we were in the middle of the Olympics last week when we had our show. It was the beginning of the track and field week, pretty much, which is always week 2 of the Summer Olympics. And the Olympic Games are done. It was pretty much 95% of what was on my television during the time that it was taking place, and didn't get to watch it religiously, but saw all the key events and highlights of what I didn't get to see. And A plus Olympic Games, lots of cool moments. We'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about it now, but it was like, where do we start, right? Let's start with basketball, USA basketball. The men and women get it done. The women's gold medal game was much closer than I ever could have imagined it would be. I I guess, based on subconscious protest or subconsciously, I've basically protested watching the women. Like I support the women that were there playing for our country, but just didn't want to watch just because of how they fumbled everything with Caitlin Clark and being able to get a chance to grow the game and all that. And not to mention players like Enrique and Gumbawale and Angel Reese should have been on the team too. So I just haven't been interested in it. Plus, I figured they'd win by 20 or 30 every game. No, they squeaked it out against France. It was apparently came down to the wire, and it took like a last, I don't know if it was a last second shot, but it was maybe a final possession bucket to seal it for the United States.
Don't know. I didn't watch it. Didn't see any highlights. I just seen the notification on my phone where they won by a single point. So it's the only thing I know about it.
I think I pulled
I
it up
didn't.
on ESPN. Go ahead.
I was about to say I didn't even know what time they were playing. I thought for some reason they were going to play their game a couple hours before the men's, but shows you how much I know.
I knew it was the last day. I knew it was the last day of the Olympic Games, but I wanted to watch the women's marathon race. I was more interested in that. And I mean, I just saw the highlights of it. I actually watched the whole men's marathon race. At least I had it on. I didn't sit
I
there
actually
most of the
watched
time.
it too. So
Yeah.
it's
But I like that stuff. I mean, I'm being a runner. I'm into that stuff. So I'm a little surprised that you checked it out. But it, Olympic records in both the men's and women's races, by the way. The women's race was actually really exciting at the very end.
yeah.
Tamarat Tola, I believe, won the men's. I believe that's his name. I can't remember if I believe he's from Ethiopia. Can't
I
recall.
believe, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, there's more of a group finish in the women's than there were in the men's. It was that guy just pretty much ran away from it.
Well, yeah, it was one. I mean, they were shoulder to shoulder and bump shoulders down the stretch. Woman from the Netherlands won it. Can't recall her name off the top of my head, but finished with a gold medal at the Olympic Games, and that's after winning bronze in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter track and field events too. So, and she was kind of a dark horse runner for this race, so she was not a favorite and came out and got it done. I know Elliot Kipchoge, the greatest of all time. He had won the last two Olympic marathons. He apparently dropped out of the race at like the 20 something kilometer mark, so a little right at or a little over halfway in the race. I don't know what happened there, but he's my age too, so it'd be hard to. It would have been a record to get three golds in the Olympic marathon. Um, so yes, it looks like it passed his time's up, and it's running, man. You never know. It could be at that level. It could be anyone's day. But let's get back to basketball. All right, so Team USA women squeak one out against France. I mean, talk about just France as a country. I mean, catching up to the game of basketball, women too, apparently. But the men's gold medal game, USA and France, every time it looked like the US would pull away, no, France got right back in it and got back in it, got it within three, within like 2.5 minutes to play. It looked like they were going to make that comeback. It looked like the US was going to crumble. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat throughout the thing, and then Steph just was Steph. And in the biggest moment you could have possibly needed him to be Steph. Four consecutive 3 pointers, the last of which was the gold medal dagger,
Yeah.
and did it with two defenders in his face. And it was incredible to watch. It was it was spectacular. There's no other way to put it.
Threw it up while, KD and LeBron were just sitting over there wide open, minding their own business. Yeah, he had two or three guys on him. That was amazing.
Well, it's like Steph had it, and then he gave it up to KD. And here's the thing. Here's the clip a lot of people didn't see. LeBron was in the corner, like with his hands up, waiting for the ball, wide open, and KD didn't even hesitate to throw it right back to Steph, which was obviously the right call. But with two defenders on him, made no difference. Behind the back, launched it, drained it, gold medal with Team USA. It was spectacular spectacular to watch. But we got to see a team that had LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant all on the same team.
Yeah.
We got to see that in a competitive set, not an all-star game, in an ultra competitive setting. Like you can't say that didn't mean anything to those guys. It was as competitive of a semifinal round on a pair of games as you'll ever see. And that was I'm glad I didn't see the Serbia game live. I don't know that I could have handled it. I don't know that my heart could have handled that.
I watched it live and yeah, I thought it was over. So it
I,
but they were up by what, 17. We got it back to within like 5 or 8, I think 5, and then they just took it
I think
back
it
to,
was 6 points. I think it was
yeah,
six
then they
points.
just took it back to like 13 or 15 points. And I'm like, oh, sweet. The team that's, supposed to be better than the dream team is gonna settle for a bronze. And then after that, man, it was like watching the Avengers assemble. Like they just took care of business.
You hear
So
about the term floating around Twitter during that run, or when Serbia was up by so much?
yeah,
LeBron's. Get it, LeBron, bronze medal.
yeah. Oh, okay.
I could tell
I
you
heard,
didn't.
yeah, I heard they called him Le LeBron in France.
Maybe, but they were calling him LeBron's, as in bronze medal, on Twitter because it would have
I
been
got
his second bronze medal, which is not a good thing to be known for in men's basketball or just USA basketball in general.
you.
Although we're going to talk a little more about that and the expectations to come with USA basketball as the Olympics continue, uh, as the years and decades approach us. But all right, so let's okay, as far as just moments, and this had me thinking, where would you rate Steph's performance at the end of the gold medal game with his entire career? To me, it's as great. It's at least as great and maybe his greatest moment. And I'm talking Finals MVP in the last NBA Finals, and everybody said that's the one thing he hasn't gotten. Check that off, and he was huge
Yeah,
in those finals. Um, I even go back to his March Madness run at Davidson when
yeah,
that was his coming out party. I To me, it's probably this is probably the greatest to me. Yes, an NBA championship is huge, but never been on an Olympic team. This will be his really his one shot at
yeah,
it. And to do it on that stage and that tight of a game and that moment, to me, that's the greatest in like on their home floor. On their home floor. And on top of what he did against Serbia, it was the
yeah.
greatest. It's the highlight of Steph's career to me. To me, that's one. His finals performance, where he got Finals MVP, is two, and the run at Davidson in the NCAA tournament would be three. That's where I would rank them, on top of what is an all-time great career.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It's it's tough to beat having the pressure of an entire country on your shoulders, like you said, playing in the home country's floor. I mean, on the home country's floor. I mean, one game to settle it all. It's not the best of 7. So yeah, I'd say that's either tied for first, if not number one on his accomplishments.
And the pressure on top of that, knowing this is your one crack at a gold medal, and like he'd be 39 like the next time that like when LA comes around in 4 years, the LA Olympics. And he's not going to be on the team then. He might not be in the league.
Yeah,
Um, it's to do that, knowing this is your one shot in one game, like you said, not a best of 7. It's one game to decide it all with a France with against a France team that's as good as anyone. Slight, not quite as good as Team USA, but not far behind. And with a basically a 6 man in that French crowd. I mean, they could not have been more behind their team. It was really neat to see. Even when they presented the silver medal to France, and they were on the France is on the podium, and they don't play the national anthem for anyone but the gold medal winners. But to hear the French crowd and the players sing it in unison, that was very neat to see. Um, it's number one for me as far as what Steph has done. in his career and what's an all-time great career. If it wasn't for Magic Johnson, he'd hands down be the best point guard ever. But I loved how Team USA played it. Basically, LeBron ran the point. He ran the point, and Steph was the two guard. And we knew because you're drooling at the thought of that, right? As a fan, LeBron running the point with Steph. Because what's the one thing we've always said about LeBron? What does LeBron need for his teams to be successful? He needs shooters to surround him, and
Yep.
and so you put with him the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. Yeah, there's that. You gotta love that. And we saw the result. And my dad, who was ill in the gold medal game for sure, he's better now. But I basically had to recap these last two games against Serbia and France to him, and I told him that it took everything that this Team USA, this stacked Team USA had to beat Serbia and France. I mean, I won't say you want to say the world's caught up with the USA, but really it's Europe. I mean, Europe's caught up. The Australian teams, not bad. South Sudan can play. We've seen that. So the world is coming, but Europe is there. Europe is there with USA as far as basketball talent and play. And it starts with, I mean, a lot of them are pros by age 15, and they play in team settings. And what are our guys doing at 15? They're playing AAU ball and just practicing ISO highlight ball, which is not team basketball. And that's why these European teams, I mean, some of the players are just as good as anybody we have, if not better. But as a collective whole, Team USA was the more talented team. But the French and Serbia, France and Serbia, they played as great a team basketball as you can. And of course, silver and bronze medalists as results. As a result, it's great for the game. It's great for the game as a whole to be this big now on the world stage. But it was you want to see your country blow the other team out. We got spoiled with that with the 92 Dream Team, but those days are over and they're never coming back. It's going to be like this from now on. All right, so before we get on to the next topic, what's your I'll just say it. I got France winning. I got the French men winning the gold medal in LA in 28. I don't know if they'd be the favorite, but I've got France winning gold in 2028 in LA. What say you? How crazy am I? Well, I'm not crazy for that.
You're not crazy. I don't think I'm willing to step that far out on a limb just yet. I'm going to wait and see, what talent's coming down the pipeline for Team USA in the next couple of years. I would agree. Yeah, they're probably going to be in that finals game. I'm not ready to go ahead and say that they're going to be favored to win the gold, though.
I mean, you're going to have it's going to be a really good team. I mean, you're going to have Tatum. You're probably going to have Jaylen Brown. You're going to have Ant. You're going to have an Ant-Man in there. You're not going to have KD. You're not going to have LeBron. You're not going to have Steph.
Nope.
I doubt I don't know that Anthony Davis will be there. I would doubt it. Maybe, but I would doubt it. Embiid, maybe. I don't know. You're going to have some guys emerge, right? Tyrese Halliburton's going to get better, get more playing time. It's going to be a team that should definitely medal and will be maybe the favorite or co-favorite to win the gold. Probably the favorite. I think France beats them, and here's why: Wemby's going to be the best player in the game at some point. I mean, Wemby is coming.
In 4 years, I'm pretty sure he'll be in his prime or just entering his prime. Like, he will be there.
He would be in it, I would think. But you see how the French team played. And that one guy that dunked on LeBron, he could play in the NBA now, but basically just said he didn't have to. He liked playing in Spain. He plays it professionally in Spain. He likes that just fine. Makes a good living doing that. And he could play in the league. Evan Fournier, who did, I don't know if he still is, but I mean played in the league for a long time. And he's older now. But I'm not thinking of him when I think of 4 years. I think of the who was the top two draft excuse me, who were the top two draft picks in this most recent NBA draft? Where did they come from? Came from France. So you got those guys, and that's two guys, 1 and 2, in an NBA draft class. Most recent, that was, I'm not going to say loaded, but I mean there was some talent there, and the top two picks were French guys, tall, long, athletic, and that just shows where the French players are right now in their game, and it's only going to improve. It's only going to get better. Seeing their country get silver medals in these last two Olympics, and seeing how close they are. They were close in the last Olympics. They beat Team USA in the last Olympics in the opening game in pool play. Of course, the USA got them in the gold medal game, largely behind Kevin Durant. But seeing that is only going to inspire others in that country to pursue the game, pick up the game, and make them hungrier, make them even hungrier. So that's my prediction. I'm not even going to say it's a bold prediction. I got France winning the 2028 men's basketball Olympic Games, gold medal game at least, beating Team USA in the final. I'll say it. So there you go. I'm pulling for my country. I'm just saying right now, I think France will beat them in 4 years. All right, so going back to this Team USA, where would you? People are now saying, it's hot take world, and people are saying that this team is better than the Dream Team. What are your thoughts? We've already covered this on this show, but let's just, after seeing them play and all that, we'll still go over it again. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, they've put themselves in the conversation, definitely. Maybe if they wouldn't have got down so bad against Serbia and been there for majority of the game, maybe that would help their argument. But I don't know. People are still going to argue. I heard someone say they're pretty much going to be 1A and 1B, just depending on what era they play in. Like if this team was, playing them back in 92, or the 92 team was playing them versus the rules now, who knows how it'd turn out. But me being a 90s kid, man, give me the Dream Team.
Yeah, I mean they're in the conversation. I mean the Dream Team at the very least would not blow them out by any means. It would be close.
Yeah.
But to me, that's just it's a case of recency bias, and people think that they're having a good different take, or that they pay attention. It's like the people that say LeBron's the GOAT. They feel like they watch more current basketball than anybody else. Like that's they don't say that, but that's what it is. Their mindset is, well, I clearly watch more basketball than any of you old heads do nowadays, because I can actually look at this objectively and I'm not living in the past. It's like, no, you either just didn't see it or don't remember how great MJ was. And that's the case with the 92 Dream Team. If you didn't see it, one, you really shouldn't have an opinion on it. At least say that they're not as good as this current Team USA. You shouldn't have an opinion on it, and two, you just didn't remember how great that team was. I saw just a 10-second clip of the Dream Team today, and it was Magic getting a rebound, throwing just a on the dime pass to MJ for a dunk, and it was, I mean, it was like bang, 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 and it's nothing that no other team could do really in history, except maybe this Team USA squad. But it's MJ, Magic, it's Bird. Yeah, Bird wasn't in its prime, but it's still Larry Bird. You've got Patrick Ewing, David Robinson. I mean, your
Barkley.
backcourt is Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Come on, Carl Malone, Charles Barkley. It was a squad, man. I don't see this team USA currently beating that dream team. I just don't. Uh, would it be close? Absolutely, though, because you wouldn't have an answer for LeBron. You wouldn't have an answer for Steph. You wouldn't have an answer for KD. I mean, just look at the other guys. I mean, Book, Anthony, Joel Embiid was a big that could shoot. I mean, Patrick Ewing had that baseline shot that was really good, but I mean, Embiid, and then you trade him. I mean, you just pull him out with Anthony Davis, and then you got Bam Adebayo coming in as your third big. I mean, come on. I mean, that is stacked. Um, it's a fun argument to have. I love both teams, but yeah, give me the '92 Dream Team. Come on, man. All right. So did you see LeBron? Did you see the clip of LeBron going to the after party at the French restaurant or the Paris restaurant, and the
Yeah.
kid coming up trying to do I don't know if the kid's trying to do a video or a selfie, and LeBron shuts him down real quick, and then just basically just snubs the kid, and then goes into the restaurant and then starts dancing with a bottle of something in his hand. It was a weird sequence of events, like shutting the kid down, ruining that kid's day, and then 5-10 seconds later, you're dancing like you won a championship, which you did. I mean, you won a
Yeah.
gold medal in the Olympics. It was just a weird sequence of events. What was your opinion of that?
I feel bad for the kid, man. I mean, he was right there. LeBron couldn't take 2 seconds to take a selfie with him. I mean, I guess I get it, but dude, make that kid's freaking not even night, man. Make that dude's year. Make that dude's childhood. Take a picture with the kid. And instead of dancing 10 seconds later before you enter the door of the restaurant, you're dancing 12 seconds later before you enter the door of the restaurant. What a great look.
No, it made me understand why people don't like LeBron.
Yeah.
Like in that video, I got it, and that wasn't an epiphany moment. I've had this opinion of him for years. Uh,
Yes.
I love LeBron as a basketball player. I He's not someone I would want to hang out with off the court.
No.
Terrific player, and I'm not a bad dude. Like, I mean, like doesn't get, and by that I mean doesn't get into trouble, doesn't beat his wife. Is a good example for his kids as far as everything else goes. I'm not saying he's a horrible dude, but that was a horrible thing to do uh, to that kid in my opinion. Now his fans are all, I mean, they're supporting him like crazy, but they'll support him if he live streams himself drowning a basket full of puppies. Like, his
Yeah.
fans will find a way to defend that and support it.
Yeah.
I love LeBron as a player. I hated that move. And he didn't have to do anything. He could have looked at the camera, smiled,
Yeah,
didn't
he just
have
had
to.
to squat down a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, if that. I mean, you don't have to put your arm around the kid. Just be like, yeah, just acknowledge that he's trying to get a picture with you, and to act that way, and then to 10 seconds later just do that, just not giving a shit. No other way to put it. It was a ugly look and just an ugly move. Hated that move. So, a douche move on his part, but I mean it's LeBron. I mean, it's LeBron type of stuff. I mean, he's done things like this in the past, and his fans will support it, and his detractors aren't. And for anybody who wants to call me a hater, I've written two glowing columns about LeBron James in my time as a sports writer. So Um, I'm not saying the dude doesn't do anything great, or I'm not saying he's a bad dude, but that was a bad move and bad look. So, all right, let's talk about some more Olympic stuff before we get out of here. So, no, by the way, Noah Lyles won the 100-meter dash, gets bronze a day or two later in the 200, and then he's visibly ill, and it comes out he had COVID, and that clearly affected his performance. But I saw like a clip today where he was out dancing and partying with people um, somewhere, and I guess the days of quarantining are over. So I'm not gonna conspiracy. I mean, he had COVID clearly, but that's
Did
that's not the best look, right?
was it clearly he had COVID? I don't know. I feel like he may have been using that as a convenient excuse. But it's like,
It seems
oh, I
that
had
way now.
COVID. It's like, oh, I got bronze. Oh yeah, because I had COVID. And then like 2 days later, he's posting where he's free of COVID now. Like, oh, okay, that was some short ass COVID. Like,
It was it was a bad look. It's looking like it's more of an excuse now, and he's getting trolled by Tyreek Hill and members of Team USA basketball, the men's team. I don't know the stuff he said except the you're not world champions, you're just
yeah,
NBA champions, which I agreed with.
yeah,
And I believe he said that about the Super Bowl too. It's like, well, he's right. He didn't say
yeah.
anything wrong. Like, no, you're NBA champions. You're not world champions. Team USA basketball are world champions. They literally beat everyone else in the world. Like, if you want to say in the Olympics, like, yeah, you are world champs. So, I mean, they did prove that. I don't know. Love the race though. Still, at least the 100-meter dash. I didn't see him in the 200-meter. I know he didn't run the relay as a result of the COVID, and you could tell that the team suffered because of that. Um, Shout out to the 16-year-old kid though, who ended up with a gold medal. Did he actually run in the final though?
Yeah, I think he
Okay,
did.
okay,
He was lead. I think he let it off.
because I was gonna say, how did he get a gold medal if he didn't actually run the final? But that's dude, 16 years old and you won an Olympic gold medal in a sprinting event. I loved his tweet, like, dang, I got school in 2.5 weeks or whatever it was. With a gold medal, an Olympic gold medal. So crazy. So obviously a bright future for that young man, assuming he keeps his head on straight and all that. Because I only say that because I remember how I was when I was 16. So hopefully that kid has keeps his head screwed on a little tighter than I did, or a lot tighter in my case. Um, but there was that. All right, so sports that will be in the 2028 Olympic Games: baseball, softball, lacrosse, just to name a few. And some sports that sadly, and maybe not so sadly, I don't know, I'm going to say sadly, won't be back in 2028: breaking, also known as breakdancing, and boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing's not going to be back, which is surprising to me. But um, the only breaking I really saw were the replay clips of the Australian girl who got 0 points. I mean, she's become a viral sensation. She's the current version of the Hawk Tuah girl, as in as far as being a famous web celebrity, famous viral celebrity.
Yeah.
Uh, Seeing that, of course, if you haven't seen it by now, the my favorite version of it, her dancing, the Australian girl who got 0 points, breaking, uh, with Peter Griffin's voice doing the Beverly Hills Cop theme song.
That was pretty good.
That's been my favorite thus far.
Yeah, I
But
watched I was about to say I watched some of it live of the women's anyways. Uh the gold medal match, I guess, those two girls were pretty good, but everybody else, I was like, this can't be the best break dancers that these countries have. Just can't be. But uh, what I know.
I
But I
guess,
was also wondering why it was even in the Olympics in the first place, and apparently I wasn't the only one wondering that. So
well, it's a one and done. from the looks of it, as it should be. It's weird that
Yeah.
that's an Olympic sport anyway. So
Yes, it is. That's like having cornhole as an Olympic sport.
it takes a little more athleticism than cornhole, but then again, I mean, we got shooting in the Olympics too, so I don't know.
I mean,
It's
interest level, but yeah.
yes, there you go. That makes more sense. Okay. College football season, we're probably going to have to get out of here on this. So, college football season, less than 3 weeks away. We're getting pretty close to that. All right. So, any bold and not so bold predictions? Or have you even thought about it? Jim Harbaugh will not be the honorary captain, by the way, in Michigan's home opener. He respect.
I don't think Georgia ends as the number one ranked team. I'll say that.
Who does?
But
Well, who
other than
does?
that, yeah, I haven't really talked about it or thought about it.
I took a look at it today. My bold prediction is going to be Oregon. Oregon is going to, yeah, they lost Bo Nix, but they brought in the Oklahoma quarterback transfer. Phil Knight is basically giving them unlimited NIL funding. He wants a championship. Love their coach. Yeah, my bold prediction there will be Oregon will be. I'm not going to say national champs. It's way too early for that, but they're going to be contenders and be in the college football playoff. Uh, I don't think this is a bold prediction. Notre Dame won't be as good as everyone thinks they'll be. We say
Of
that
course
every.
not. It's yeah, water is wet. What else is news?
But here's my other one. I'll say I don't think Ole Miss is going to be as good as people think either. I know they got the quarterback back. I think they're going to be a good team, but I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year and as good as everyone thinks. I don't think Ole Miss makes the college football playoff.
Yeah, I think they do.
That's a bold prediction. There, so again, reiterating that. Okay, all right. So we'll get out of here on that. WNBA season resumes Thursday, but the Indiana Fever don't play until Friday, so that's when I'll be interested. But we'll talk, sports and everything else going on next week, same time and day. But until then, this is Trust Grandpal. That's Bradley Brown. Deuces, y'all.
Peace.